Hey John, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
We're live at Webboards. We're going to be showing people how to take off the BRP gear and put on the webboards. So you got your tools ready. Maybe tell us a little bit about the tools that we're going to be needing.
Okay, what we have is we have a nut driver with a 10 mil socket on it. We have a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench, and we also have a 1/4 20 socket. And those are the tools we're going to need to remove.
Well, without further ado, I know you're all set up, so I'll let you go ahead and do that.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 10 millimeter socket, and I'm going to take the 2 factory bolts out of this peg mount. Now what's going to happen is there's a spacer block that's going to be coming out that we're going to need to install when we put the webboard in. Real simple. Here's the block there. The 2 bolts, which we're not going to be using to reinstall the board. And then we simply just take this off. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to remove the factory brake pedal. And this pedal here is you're going to use a 10 mil socket. I have a nut driver set up here. Real simple. Just like that. And there we have it. Okay, so the next step we're going to do here is we're going to actually add this spacer block to the pedal itself. And why we're doing that is because the cutaway for the webboard window, this is going to allow for plenty of clearance so that it will not interfere when the pedal is down all the way. So I simply put the pad back on. I'm going to put the spacer block in, and all that's going to do is that's going to raise it up enough for the clearance of the pedal. Sometimes you got to kind of wiggle them around to get the holes to line up. What I'll do is I'll just start them, and then I'll go ahead and snug them up good with the nut driver. And there we have it. So now what we're going to do is we need to raise this footrest up in order to get the clearance for the webboard itself. This is the mounting location here. So with a 5 millimeter Allen wrench, I'm simply just going to loosen it up enough where I can raise the block, this here. So you don't want to take the bolt all the way out, but you do want to loosen it enough. Sometimes just by wiggling up, just like I did there, it's going to be plenty. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing it all the way up. Retighten it, get it good and snug, and then I'm going to flip this up out of the way so we have this window here to put the bolt through. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to actually install the webboard onto the bike. Now, we've included a hardware kit of 2 1/4 20s on each side with a nylock nut and a washer on each bolt. Here we have a 1/2 13 carriage bolt with a nylock and a washer. That's going to be for the rear mount. So what I need to do is I just need to line the 2 holes up here in this mount first. What I'll do is I will drop the 2 bolts down just to kind of hold it in place for me. And that'll allow me to let go of it, and I'll be able to install this carriage bolt. So what we want to do is we want to make the head of the carriage bolt stay on the outside of the tab. I want to start the washer and the nylock nut underneath. It's kind of a trick to get up in there, but you still have plenty of room. So now that I've started it, I'm just going to snug it up, like you see there. Now the next step would be to install the 2 1/4 20 nylocks underneath. This is the factory spacer block. The flat side has to remain down. The rounded side goes towards the front of the bike. So now that the block's in, I'll install a washer and a nylock nut. You might have to push that spacer block up a little bit. It will want to fall down and bind on you. And then after we're done there, what we do is we bring this up as much as we can to give it clearance for the brake pedal. So you're going to end up tightening these up last. This will be your first bolt you're going to want to tighten. Once it actually starts tightening up, you can apply a little upward pressure, and that's going to kick the nose of the web board down. You want to get that bolt fairly tight. Just like that there. Now you'll see we have plenty of clearance between the top of the mount and the passenger footrest. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue tightening these two bolts up using a 2.5 millimeter Allen and a 7/16 socket. Now that we know the board's secure, we're just going to go ahead and make sure we have clearance all the way around the bike. Brake pedal has plenty of clearance. And there we are. Web board installed.